So Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced has been released for well over a month now, and I think this will probably be one of my final videos on this game for the next few months at least, up until I want to replay it again for the new Game Plus, of course. But for now, yes, as you've seen the gameplay on the background on the map, I basically completed almost every single mission and every single challenge apart from like the big ships, the man of war ships, and maybe a few side quests here and there, but the main story is 100% completed, and most of the side missions I've completed as well, and I visited every single island, of course, there is in the game. So to me it feels like I completed the entire campaign for this game so far, and I have a pretty good opinion about this game. Like I said before in a few other videos I made on this one, is that I really enjoyed the gameplay itself. The graphics were exceptional. Obviously this is one of the best looking Assassin's Creed games that ever came out, arguably the best one, especially with the setting there in the Caribbean, of course. So yeah, this is probably going to be one of the final videos, and the reason for that is because I don't see really other things to do in this game at the moment, or other challenges to do, and I think I see most of the game, and that's usually the case with Assassin's Creed games, especially the older ones, and this is probably very similar to the older Assassin's Creed games. When you finish the campaign there's basically nothing to do. That is something you have to consider when buying the game. And but I think, you know, a story like this, a compact story, I finished it in basically 30 hours, and I did a lot of exploring in the game as well. I think it's worth it, even though it's slightly more expensive compared to like a multiplayer game where you can put in a lot of more hours into the game itself and you get like more bang for your buck, if you call it like that. But I think story games like this are very good and are very needed, especially nowadays with the short attention spans, and I think it's a nice change of pace compared to the really big open world RPGs for Assassin's Creed like Valhalla, Odyssey and Origins, and Shadows to a degree as well. But so far I give this game like an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's probably one of the most enjoyable Assassin's Creeds to play. Obviously, like I said before, you know, you can't play it for 100 hours. You are basically done if you play like 30 or 40 hours if you want to do everything in the game. But by that point it's done, if you don't want to play a new Game Plus. And yeah, the story so far, it's basically similar compared to the original. They added a few bonus missions here and there, which were quite good as well. The gameplay is very nice. It's basically a mix of the new RPG games and the old school ones. Can basically fight like you do it in Black Flag, but it's also like slightly changed so that it can feel pretty similar to the newer ones. I think it's the best of both worlds in my opinion. It's nice to play. It's not jarring to play, and I think they should move with this system forward. The only thing I really want to see in the future Assassin's Creed titles is that it's slightly harder. I do enjoy it from time to time. You can basically mindlessly take out all of the enemies in one go. But you know, if you play a game for 20 or 30 hours, I think slightly more challenging gameplay is needed. Not as challenging as it was in like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That game is like famously hard, especially when you have to find new loot and find new gear the entire game, so you just can get to the level of the enemies at that point. You basically have to level. It's basically level gated. Like you have to, if you are level 46, you need to get level 46 armor. Otherwise, it's going to be a very tough experience for you if you play it like that. And you basically can't go into a fight with level 30 armor with level 45 enemies. So I'm glad they removed that feature, but I think they should find a way to make it slightly harder than it is now, because it kind of got still after a little while. Even though the finishers are good, I still think it's, you know, it's slightly too easy, especially if you learn all of the mechanics of the game. But yeah, that's like my only complaint basically of this game. The graphics are fantastic, the naval combat is fantastic, I think the story is still intact, it's still fantastic as always. The voice acting is actually pretty good, which wasn't really the case in like the more recent Assassin's Creed games in my opinion, especially Assassin's Creed Shadows, where it was kind of jarring, the voice acting. Maybe not in the original language, but if you play it in the English version like I did, it's pretty jarring to play. In this game it's not really the case. I think the main character, Edward Kenway, is very well done, is very well acted. But yeah, those voice acting is probably recorded like 13 years ago when the original game released, so it was kind of expected. But yeah, if you have not bought the game yet and you're still contemplating about buying this one, I would say, you know, if you want to truly put a lot of hours into the game, I would probably say, you know, $60 is a bit too much. And I expect this game will go on sale very, very soon, especially because, you know, Assassin's Creed always basically goes on sale like 2 or 3 or 4 months after release, and now it's 1 month after release. And especially when all of these new games are coming out in the next few months, especially like GTA and Call of Duty and maybe Wolverine as well, I think they will want to try to get more players in, and will probably do like 25% or 30% off. And by that point, it's like, if it's like $40, I think it's worth it. It's probably one of the better Assassin's Creed games, and yeah, I really enjoyed my time with it. But yeah, like I said at the start of the video, I don't expect to be coming back to this one for a few months. Because I think, you know, there's too much on the horizon so far in gaming world right now, and I think there are too much other games coming out, and yeah, there isn't really much to do anymore. Yeah, so that. And it's also pretty interesting to speculate on the future of Assassin's Creed as well. I saw some leaks on the internet come across my timeline that the next Assassin's Creed game is probably going to be an ancient Rome Assassin's Creed title. That sounds interesting because it's a time period that basically every single one of us wants to visit at some point in the Assassin's Creed universe, and it hasn't really been done so far. And I think there's a lot of things you can do in that time period, and a lot of innovative things you can probably work in the story as well. When it is going to release, I probably expect it to release like next year in the summer or late 2027. Because next year is probably not going to be like a huge year for video games like this one is this year. They will probably announce it, I expect, maybe at the end of this year. But we'll have to wait and see if there is ever going to be leaks coming out, because that is usually the case with these games, that the entire setting and the characters get leaked before the game actually comes out, and they can release the trailer by that point. But yeah, an Assassin's Creed games in ancient Rome sounds very interesting. Obviously, I think Assassin's Creed Shadows, the one that released last year, was decent. It was a step in the right direction, but overall, I played that game for like 60 hours in like 3 or 4 weeks time, and I think eventually the map was like slightly bigger than this one in Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and it kind of got repetitive after a while to play it. And I think the sweet spot for these games is probably going to be 20 to 40 hours storyline, and after that maybe with side quests you can fill up the time as well. But I think like Assassin's Creed Valhalla with 100 hours is absolutely crazy and mental. I think no one is wanting to play a game like for that long. And I think most people will probably be satisfied with a story like 20 or 40 hours, especially with Assassin's Creed, because I think most of the missions beyond like 20 hours is going to be like a repeat of every single one of them that came before. You basically get like 10 tailing missions and 10 ship battle missions and 10 assassination missions, and eventually it gets boring very quickly. But yeah, I kind of hope that they will probably improve with like the combat in the future, and they will probably make it harder for us. But so yeah, I'm kind of curious about your guys' opinion on this game. I don't know how many people exactly bought it. I know when this game released, they announced that it probably sold around 3 million copies. And it's like a few weeks later now, so I expect it to have sold like maybe 3.5 million copies. They've never announced a 4 million one, so I expect it to be around that number. But I can totally understand why so many people might be hesitant to buy this one, because you know these games are very expensive here compared to the amount of hours you get in return, which is most of the time not really an argument I agree with, because some games are just so good in their story. I think even though you might get to play like 25 hours of story mode, if the story is very good, I think it's worth it. But yeah, I know the opinions on that one can differ. Currently I'm playing 007 First Light, and I will probably be putting up a review very soon about that game. And that game is notorious for having like a pretty short storyline of like 20 hours, and I think most people didn't buy that game because of the short story length, and they think it's just too expensive for the amount of content you get, which is obviously understandable. But even with that game I can already say some few things. I haven't finished the complete story, but I think the quality of the story is there, and if the quality is there, I think it's fine to spend a little more money on it. But yeah, if you compare it to like the GTAs of this world, where you have basically infinite replay value and you can play online for years and years and years, and the price tag of that game is basically the same, like $80, I think it's a fair argument, of course. But yeah, if you don't want to spend the $60 on this one, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, I would just say no, wait for a sale. It's probably going to coming very soon. And if you wait a year, if you are probably looking at early 2027, this game is probably going to be like $25, like every single one of the Assassin's Creed games is so far. You can basically play every single Assassin's Creed games for $15 right now. I saw a sale on the store already for Shadows, which is basically a year old at this point. It's basically $30, and yeah, you do you. I'm very curious to see if you guys enjoyed this game so far. Like I said, it's an enjoyable experience for me, but it's not really a replayable game in my opinion. So yeah, my final rating 8.5 out of 10. Still good. It's probably one of the better Assassin's Creed games they've released so far. I expect them to release another trilogy of remakes, especially like with, my prediction is going to be the Ezio collection, like Assassin's Creed 2, Revelations and Brotherhood. And that's probably going to be the strategy for Ubisoft going forward, like release a new mainline game like the Ancient Rome one and release some remakes which sell very well, and especially if you can add slightly more content to it, and it's probably slightly cheaper for them to create these types of remakes and create an entire new game. And if the sales are very good, which I expect with the Ezio trilogy, of course, I think that's like the new strategy going forward. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. The upcoming days I will probably be covering the beta for Call of Duty. I will probably put up a review of 007 First Light, like I said, and maybe there's some other interesting news that's coming out in the next few days. I'll have to wait and see. And yeah, it's been fun making these videos, and it's been fun playing this game, and I think there's a lot of good things coming up on the horizon so far in upcoming months, and I think 2026 will go down as one of the better years for the gaming community. And yeah, it can only go upwards from here. So yeah, thank you for watching today's video, and if you stick to the end, leave a like and subscribe. I very appreciate it. You managed to stick around this long. But yeah, I would appreciate it if you leave a like, and if you want to see more in the future, just click on the subscribe button down below, and I will see you in the next video. So yeah, thank you and bye bye.